Hey guys, John here for RPG A Day 2024, Day 17, an engaging RPG community. I've been trying to distill my thoughts on this topic several times now. I started with this really long video that I did earlier this morning, and that ended up being a lot of history of myself in the hobby and the various communities I've been a part of. I will link a video. I'll private the video and I'll link it in the description below. But it's really not. I mean, it's just kind of a bit of a ramble. When we think of a community that's engaging, it's one that, at least in my experience, now that I've been in several gaming communities very much at the same time. There was a time in college where I was in like 3 different game groups. I was in my LARP group, I was in my tabletop club that I was the president for a while of, and then I did game store stuff. And then my home game, so really 4 distinct games. Being welcoming and kind always is helpful. Making sure everyone feels safe to express themselves, to play games, and kind of accept where they're at. If they're much more of a tactical player, that's okay. We can be more tactical. If they're more theater of the mind into the story, that's where you go. If they're new players and they're not really sure where they're at, encourage them to try things. I mean, right now I'm running a Fate game, which is a space pirate game in my sci-fi setting, and I should do a video on my setting sometime. And that's okay. Like, and those players in that Fate game they're new. I mean, I've got one player who's played games before, but not really Fate. And they're still figuring out how to do this whole role-playing game thing, which is fine. But it's letting them have just that, as the game master, letting them just have that community of, okay, here's the space for you to figure yourselves out. And I think that's part of community. I mean, we can talk about message boards and Facebook groups and Discord servers all we want, but at the end of the day, your group is your community. Your community of gaming, of gamers in gaming, and you have to be able to, engage everyone and by that making sure everyone feels safe and that they can contribute and that this hobby is for them, that they are wanted here and bring something unique to the table. And in all the game groups I have been in, and all the communities I have been in, that has been what has made it engaging is that fact that everyone feels that they can contribute. There may be more elements of fandom where, like, oh, this game is better than this game, etc., etc. That, I think, is just... that's just a problem of being nerds, and particularly in RPGs, when you like a more indie game, you start to turn your nose up with the more mainstream stuff, games that rhyme, games that start with D and D. So I think, but despite that kind of tribalism that may happen, finding people within those communities to help you develop your style as a player, as a game master, but also just know it's okay. We'll figure this out together. And that's been feeling safe, helps with engagement, and then that leads to people branching out and living their true selves and really figuring out how they fit into this hobby. So, hurt my hand. So, without further ado, I won't belabor the point anymore. I'll link my longer video down below. But yeah, that's kind of what I think makes an engaging community. Really, I've seen it with, most notably, the last couple years with my buddy Fry and his Discord server that he's been able to kind of curate. That's been great. Just great. We've ran Star Wars. We're finishing up a Spelljammer campaign. This is the server where I ran my space opera Flash Gordon game, my noir game. Like, it's beautiful stuff has been happening in this little community of nerds that I've been a part of, and it's been great. But yeah, tell me what you think. What makes an engaging community in our hobby? I love reading your comments, and I read them all. But as always, guys, get out there, roll some dice, and happy gaming.